You're praying for change. You're praying for change. And your life just starts falling apart, unraveling at the seams. Everything around you, your relationships, your job, it all goes away. The money in your bank account, it all goes away. And you look up and you go, God, what the fuck? God's like, dude, you asked for change. You asked for a new life. We can't go on in this environment that you're living in. We have to change the environment. We have to obliterate everything that stands and start new. Mm-hmm. Because the foundation has to be rebuilt of what you're asking for. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to stay in it, because that's the ultimate yoga right there. That's the yoga of life, is are you able to maintain peace in the midst of that chaos, maintain focus, concentration, trust, and faith. You can either have faith or be in total fear looking into the unknown. Mm-hmm. Either one. It's on the precipice of the unknown. You have to either have faith and trust that when you let go, God's going to provide you with the next thing. Or you're in total fear and you never go anywhere and you never see what's on the other side of that thing.
Start with action and make small promises to yourself that you don't break. If you had a friend and every single time that you and your friend decided that you were going to go out for dinner, that friend either showed up 2 hours late or didn't show up at all, you would stop trusting that person. That is the relationship that you have with yourself. You need to be able to trust your own word. And a lot of us don't, because life is very convenient and it is easy for people to not stick to the promises that they set themselves, because our ability to be idealistic is always going to outstrip reality's ability to deliver that to us. As soon as you posit an ideal, you then begin to compare yourself to that ideal. And true hell is when the person that you are meets the person that you could have been.
A lot of times people don't want things forced on them, but sometimes you got to nudge it. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to keep at least giving them the information, and it may take them a while to actually try it. When I think about change, right, I just think about stacking days. Just keep stacking days. Mm-hmm. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change. But my coach used to always say, everything that you want is on the other side of hard, right? He had another, I think I said in the book, he said, reps removed doubt.
The structure that you use to orient yourself in your life is dependent on your values. And you might say, well, if you don't value human life, let's say, above all, well, then you don't value yourself above all. You value something else above that. You're going to pay for that in one way or another. Now, you might say, well, that's a price that I think is worth paying, or I don't think that human beings should be put on the top. You know, that's your prerogative. But you will absolutely 100% pay in full for everything that you've done and for everything that you haven't done. I mean, how can it be otherwise?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what are you going to do? Reality isn't going to make itself manifest because of your whim. That's not going to happen. And, you know, you can think about that religiously or not. There's no escaping from what is.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase. Because anything else, it's gonna disappoint you. You're gonna forever be sad, man. If you don't chase that dream, you're gonna forever be miserable, man.
One thing I did wrong in my life was I tried for so many years to please people. And I did it at the expense of myself. I was leaving a lot in the tank, and when you do that, you stop living.
If everything I did failed, which it doesn't, it actually succeeds, but if everything I did failed, just the fact that I'm willing to fail is an inspiration. People are so scared to lose that they don't even try. Like, one thing that people can't say is they can't say, I'm not trying.
Do you think that everyone has purpose?
The way I look at it is, you, Theo, were born with a DNA that will never be replicated in the past or in the future. It's a unique marker of you, right? So genetically, there is something different about you. Weird, odd, great, whatever you want to put it, okay? And it's like something that's planted at your birth. It's what makes you different from everybody else. It's even what makes you different from your parents. right? I mean, you do inherit their genetics, but it's always different, okay? And so that's like a seed at your birth. If you cultivate that seed, if you cultivate your uniqueness, it gives you a purpose in life. It's why you are unique. You can look at it as if somebody or it's just nature intended it to be this way, but it's what makes you you. It's your energy, it's your character, it's your weirdness, it's your sense of humor. It's what draws you to certain things, what you hate about certain things. It's you.
There will come opportunities in life, when they're presented to you, in front of you. It's just a matter of whether you're not prepared to take advantage of the opportunity. But you got to develop that resilience within you. Life is not about how much you succeed. It's about what happens when you fail, right? So life is, you could look at like, man, what's been inspiring for me? If you said, oh, Tom, what are the greatest wins? I'd be like, the wins, those are, yeah. Let's talk about the losses. Those are the ones that really, made me who I am. And as you go through life, and we're all adults, things happen in life that you don't want to have happen. Whether you lose a game or whether things don't go well at work or something with your child. There's a lot of things that come up in our personal and professional lives that just don't go the way we want.
There's a saying, there's a quote that I really believe in, that when the pain of the current reality becomes greater than the fear of change, that's when we change. So like when the pain becomes so intense that it's greater than the fear that you have of the unknown, then you'll go into the unknown. You can stand there at the door looking at this abyss, but when it becomes so fucking painful that you walk into that's when the change happens.
If you could be everything you could be, you have to voluntarily take on the weight of the worst life has to offer, including the depths of malevolence itself. How are you going to adapt to a situation you won't even admit to?
Right.
Well, so how could it be otherwise than for you to become everything that you could be, you have to embrace all of the catastrophes that life has to offer? Like, how could it be other than that? You're going to hide? You're going to pretend?
Right.
How's that going to work? No one thinks that'll work.
Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times.
And here's the thing, man, I don't remember the last time I lost sleep over a hater. I worked too hard for everything I got for me to be out here worried about what a hater's talking about in my comments. Like, are you serious? I'ma laugh at you and ask that chef to run that back.
It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. But understand this, life is hard. No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself, because football lessons teach us that success and achievement come from overcoming adversity, and that team accomplishment far exceeds anyone's individual goals. To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts.
If you think, like I've thought many times in my life, I need to change this aspect of my life. I need to party less. I need to sleep less. I need to work more. I need to train more. I need to make more money. I need to spend more time with my daughter. Whatever it was in life, adjusting your lifestyle to make changes in yourself is difficult. Not everybody can do it. So if you understand how difficult it is to make changes to yourself, you have to understand it is impossible to make changes to somebody else. If somebody else really isn't going to do it and really doesn't want it.
Doubt is not going to work. No doubt. Doubt should be eliminated. You should be a doubt annihilator. You should be an annihilator of doubt. You kill people in the ring, you should kill doubt in your mind and in your soul and your heart. Kill it. It's dead. Fight it every day, because it's going to be hard. It's not going anywhere. You're going to try to throw as many negative thoughts at you as possible. And you got to throw as many and triple the positive thoughts. Whatever it throw 3 of them, you throw 16 back at them. How much you love yourself and how great you are. And how you love God for your hands and your feet and your legs and your skin and your movements, everything. Thank you, your gratitude.
For your life.
Yes. Your blessings triple when you have gratitude.
Most important key to success, I think it's hunger. It's not getting satisfied. Anyone you respect who's achieved at the highest level intelligence is an incredibly important distinction and a valuable thing to have in life. But I always tell people, you can find so many intelligent people that can't fight their way out of a paper bag. What matters is hunger. A hunger that doesn't go, a hunger to learn, a hunger to grow, a hunger to serve, a hunger to give, a hunger to create breakthroughs.
Don't get frustrated. There's a way out. Stop looking for others to come save you, man. Even that is your friend. He's not obligated to give his shirt off his back. So, just stand in the rain with him.
The individuals that don't pursue their own dreams are not gonna push you to pursue yours. You have a dark side that refuses to be taught to be good. Every individual in this room has a dark side. This is about what lights your own fire, what's unique to you, what gets things done when nothing else will. It's about the individual that's been raised either in a broken home or by a single parent or no parent, and they handle the situation two ways. One uses it as an excuse for the rest of their life, and you got the other individual that says, watch me.
I'll never forget somebody said, there's humility and there's being too humble. And I said, what does that mean? They said, sometimes you could be so humble where you disappear in the room. You disappear in the deals. You disappear in negotiating what you really deserve. Don't be so grateful and so humble that this opportunity presents itself that you don't do whatever you got to do to make sure that business-wise, you don't take care of business.
But it's not about the money. It's not about the business. It's about your growth. Because every one of us either grows or dies. People ask me all the time, what does it take to be happy? I say one word, progress. Progress equals happiness. If you can decide that success is life on your terms, but it's also a meaningful life where you found something you care about more than yourself that you want to serve, whether it's your family or a community or a mission or your company, then you're blessed. And success is that experience of not only achievement, but fulfillment. And it can't be achieved unless you're growing and unless you're giving in ways that you're not positioning the giving. It's not what other people say, it's what you know in your soul. And I think if you can find those things inside yourself, they're not easy, but they're worth it. You'll have a life that will look like a dream to other people, and they'll all think you're lucky because we're all rewarded in public for what we've practiced continuously in private.
What makes it hard is your lack of belief that it can happen for you. The fact of it is, though, it's very doable. See, but you got to change, though. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change.
So if you're ambitious, channeling that energy into becoming the best and beating the competition is a productive way of using that dark energy. If you feel angry about a cause or something that pisses you off about the world and some injustices, instead of whining about it, etc., you go out and you do something. You get involved in a movement or whatever. You channel that energy into something productive.
When you focus on the past, that's your ego. I did this. We were able to beat this team 4-0. I did this in the past. I won that in the past. And when I focus in the future, it's my pride. Like, yeah, next game 5, I do this and this and this. I'm going dominant. That's your pride talking. Like, it doesn't happen. Like, you're right here.
Nothing but green lights, and we didn't have yellows and reds, things that make us pause, hardships, crises, times for introspection. Then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. That's how, hopefully, there's some ascension to our being. That's how we give some credit to time and growing older. If we were the same person today that we were 20 years ago, then what the hell are we doing?
You gotta be willing to do the work. You can speak about it all day. The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something. That's why I always say to people, what's more important? What we acquire or who we become, right? What's more important, what we acquire or who we become? Materialistic, superficial, it's cool. But the people that we become, The thoughts we think, the words we speak, that's something that's gonna travel with us forever.
You need to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable scenarios, okay? If you do easy things, you will have a hard life. If you do hard things, you will have an easy life. Let me say it again. If you do easy things, you will have a hard life. If you do hard things, you will have an easy life. As a man, you have to understand that we as men, we do better in environments where we are uncomfortable, okay? You put pressure on a rock, it turns into a diamond. Men do better in environments where we are uncomfortable, okay? What I'm saying is, the more you stay uncomfortable as a man, the more success you will have.
If you can pay your bills, take care of your haircut, take care of your family, go on a nice trip, you're happy, you made a good choice, you got the right people in your life, nigga, you won.
That's right.
That's success. We give people with the most money like they the most knowledgeable, not thinking they probably was at the right place at the right time. But it's not about money. It's about character.
We follow the same heart, we follow the same hustle, but sometimes things are different. And you just gotta just master whatever it is you're doing. Take a few losses that come with the game, as long as you finish on top. That's the only thing that counts.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
I talk often about the importance of trauma as a man. I think that if you were to find the most interesting or most capable men on the planet, they've had the most trauma-filled lives. I just think that trauma is what teaches you. We talked earlier about how you have to have lessons taught to you the hardest way. If you were to call a Navy SEAL and ask him to protect you going into a building full of assailants, you'd like to think that guy's been through some stuff. You'd like to see some scars, right? So lessons and trauma, and the more you go through, the better of a man you are. And if you were to find the best men on the planet, I guarantee they've been through a bunch of terrible things. And if you listen to podcasts from any of the most interesting people on the planet, usually they've had hard, terrible lives. And you can use that trauma to become a better person, or you can let that trauma consume you and destroy you. But I thank God for all of it, because it gave me endless power to become the person I am.
And even if you're not where you want to be in life and you're grinding and you're on that hustle.
And there's a lot of people like that, right?
I get it. Keep grinding, but also appreciate it. Appreciate that hustle. Appreciate this thing. Appreciate this fucking beautiful, chaotic, unknown existence you're in.
Thing we call life.
Yeah, that you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. It's open-ended. It's wide.
Man.
It's a complete open loop experience. You don't know what the fuck is coming next, and you're just trying to enjoy the ride.
I think 3 components of somebody that does something very big with their lives. 1, they experienced unconditional love from one person. You only need one person to give you unconditional love. For you to know that's possible and it exists, normally it's someone's mom. But you need, meaning you can get arrested, you can do anything you're doing. That person's gonna love you no matter what. You have to experience that. Number 2,
to be successful.
You have to have that, because you have to know that it's worth the pain. Love is worth the pain you're gonna go through in the chaotic times. The second thing you need is hardcore betrayal and pain from someone you loved. So you love somebody so much, but no matter what you do, you're never gonna get this person. It could be a female, it could be a father.
Yeah.
It could be a mother, it could be a uncle, it could be anything. But it's pain. So you're constantly engaged and proving to this person that you're worthy, but no one knows. It's a secret between you and that person. It's a relationship, and you're never going to win, but you need it. And the last one is the right enemy. Most people don't choose the right enemy. Most people choose a dumb enemy that gets them for 3 months or 3 weeks or a couple of years and even brings out the bad side of you. But if you get the right enemy going, it can bring out a whole different side of you.
Self-confidence is self-trust. And self-confidence is the process of keeping the promises that you make to yourself.
So the way we begin to build our self-confidence up is we start setting promises up with ourselves that we keep. And when you begin to stack those promises, when I meet someone who's not self-confident, I know this is someone who has consistently broken promises they make to themselves. They start a diet, they don't stay with it. They say they're going to get up at a certain time of day, they don't do it. They say they're going to make a certain amount of contacts a day in their business, they don't do it. When I meet a confident person, this is someone who trusts themselves. So what I would say to you is absolutely, I can tell you exactly what to do. You need to begin to make promises to yourself, set up the game early where you can keep them, stack that stuff and create momentum. And what happens is you will begin to build a reputation with yourself that you can trust you. And that's what a self-confident person has. That's what you have. That's what you have, is you've built a pattern with you of keeping the promises you make to yourself. That's what self-confidence is.